the Nebraska Cornhuskers scraped out a 38-27 victory over the Michigan State Spartans on October 4, 2025 at Memorial Stadium, improving to 4-1 overall and 1-1 in Big Ten play. The win came courtesy of timely turnovers and a late surge, but it masked deeper issues in a game where the Huskers squandered opportunities against one of the nation's weakest passing defenses. Nebraska led 14-0 early, but watched Michigan State rally to a 27-14 advantage midway through the third quarter, before scoring 24 unanswered points to pull away. Final score: Nebraska 38, Michigan State 27. The Spartans covered the 11.5-point spread, and the total of 65 points sailed over the 50.5 line, validating the predictions from the Nebraska Journal-Herald betting desk. Coming off a bye week, Nebraska appeared primed to exploit Michigan State's porous secondary, which entered the game ranked 117th nationally, allowing 263.5 passing yards per contest and a 67.6% completion rate to opponents. Quarterback Dylan Raiola, who had thrown for 1,137 yards and 11 touchdowns through 4 games, seemed set for a breakout. Instead, the Huskers leaned heavily on the run game, attempting just 24 passes for 194 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception, averaging a meager 8.1 yards per attempt. Running back Emmett Johnson carried 22 times for 112 yards and 2 scores, providing balance with 187 total rushing yards. But the conservative approach kept Michigan State in striking distance. The Spartans, more competitive than preseason projections suggested, ranked outside the top 50 in most models, capitalized on Nebraska's predictability, forcing 5 sacks and limiting Raiola to under 200 yards for the first time this season. The offensive line struggles were glaring, drawing widespread fan and analyst backlash. The unit, anchored by 4 returning starters from 2024, surrendered 5 sacks, mirroring the 7 from the Michigan loss the previous week, for a total of 12 over Nebraska's last 2 games. Left tackle Gunnar Gottula and center Alec Pellish bore much of the blame, with Michigan State's edge rushers David Santiago and Jalen Thompson combining for 3 sacks. Blocking assignments faltered on third downs, leading to negative plays that stalled drives. As one fan posted on X after the game, offensive line play isn't rocket science, it's fundamentals. Rule and offensive line coach Mike Cavanaugh can't scheme around this incompetence. The coordinator, Dana Holgerson, stuck to under-center snaps and play-action runs, averaging 4.2 yards per rush overall, but neglected quick-release options like rollouts, bootlegs, and screens that could mask the line's deficiencies. Raiola faced constant pressure, holding the ball an average of 2.8 seconds before throwing, up from 2.4 against non-conference foes, resulting in hurried decisions and the game's lone interception, a pick-six setup on the first play after Michigan State's second touchdown. This marks the second straight week of sack-heavy outings for Raiola, 12 total, putting undue strain on the sophomore. Opponents now have film to exploit the line's slow footwork and poor pass protection, with Big Ten fronts like Penn State's or Ohio State's looming. Holgerson must adapt, shorten drops, incorporate more pre-snap motion, used on just 12% of plays, and emphasize RPOs to get the ball out in under 2.5 seconds. Without adjustments, the offensive line's woes will compound, turning winnable games into shootouts or losses. Nebraska's salvation came from opportunistic defense and special teams, forcing 3 Michigan State turnovers that directly led to 17 points. The first, an interception by safety Deshaun Singleton off Aiden Childs at the Spartans' 45-yard line in the second quarter, set up a 23-yard Emmett Johnson touchdown run 3 plays later, tying the score at 14-14. Singleton's pick was a coverage breakdown by Michigan State tight end Jack Velling, not elite Husker play. Childs stared down his read, telegraphing the throw. The second turnover, a fumble by Childs on a third-quarter scramble, forced by linebacker Dasa McCullough's blindside hit, was recovered at the MSU 38, leading to a 45-yard bomb from Raiola to wide receiver Nizia Hunter for a touchdown that ignited the comeback. McCullough's strip was textbook, but Childs' ball security lapse, his third fumble of the season, gifted the Huskers prime field position. Finally, a block punt by defensive lineman Ty Robinson in the fourth quarter, returned 12 yards for a touchdown by tight end Carter Nelson, extended the lead to 38-27 with 6:12 left. This was pure luck. Robinson's rush path opened due to a misaligned snap from Michigan State's long snapper, turning a routine punt into points. These breaks masked a sloppy effort. Without them, Nebraska might have fallen. Michigan State, quarterbacked by Childs, injured late but returning briefly, showed grit, scoring 21 straight points in the second and third quarters on 2 Childs rushing touchdowns, 4 and 16 yards, and a freshman Alessio Milivojevic 2-yard strike to Velling after Childs' exit. The Spartans outgained Nebraska 240-187 in the first half, proving more resilient than expected. Quarterback comparison. Dylan Raiola, Nebraska 16/24, 194 yards, 1 TD, 1 INT, 0 rushing yards, sacked 5 times, -32 yards. Raiola's efficiency dipped to 8.1 yards per attempt, his lowest of the season, hampered by protection breakdowns and a run-heavy script. Aiden Childs, Michigan State 12/22, 156 yards, 0 TD, 2 INT, 48 rushing yards, 2 rushing TDs, sacked 4 times, -28 yards. Childs' mobility kept the Spartans alive, but 2 turnovers and an injury stint limited his impact, with Milivojevic 3 for 5, 28 yards, 1 TD, relieving effectively. Team statistics. First downs, Nebraska 19, Michigan State 17. Rushing yards, Nebraska 187, 35 carries, 5.3 average. Michigan State 112, 28 carries, 4.0 average. Passing yards, Nebraska 194, 24/16, 8.1 average. Michigan State 184, 27/15, 6.8 average. Total yards, Nebraska 381, Michigan State 296. Turnovers, Nebraska 1, Michigan State 3. Penalties, Nebraska 8 to 65 yards, Michigan State 6 to 52 yards. Time of possession, Nebraska 32:14, Michigan State 27:46. Third down conversion, Nebraska 7/14, 50%, Michigan State 5/12, 42%. Sacks, Nebraska 4 -28 yards, Michigan State 5 -32 yards. Punts, Nebraska 4 average 42.5 yards, Michigan State 3 average 38.0 yards, 1 blocked. Nebraska's next game is on October 11th at Maryland, a road test against the Terrapins, 2-2, 0-1 Big Ten, in College Park. Maryland averages 31.5 points per game, but ranks 98th in total defense, allowing 385 yards. Kickoff is at 12 p.m. Central Time on BTN, with Nebraska favored by 6.5 points, total 52.5. The Huskers must refine protection schemes to avoid another sack fest against Maryland's edge rushers. In summary, Nebraska's 38-27 win over Michigan State was a fortunate escape, propelled by 3 turnover forced points, Singleton INT, Childs fumble, block punt, that turned a potential upset into a 11-point margin. The bye-week over-analysis led to a run-focused game plan that underutilized Raiola against a secondary ripe for exploitation, while the offensive line's 5 sacks surrendered echoed last week's woes. Rules micromanagement and staff's coach Speak failed to adapt, but the defense's opportunism and Johnson's 112 rushing yards salvaged the day. At 4-1, Nebraska remains bowl-bound, but without quicker passing schemes and line fixes, tougher foes await. The Huskers got lucky. Now they must get better.